Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you are watching TTV News from TayNinhTV radio and television station. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, recently the delegation of the Central Steering Committee on Anti-Corruption, led by Mr. Phan Đình Trạc, Secretary of the Party Central Committee, Head of the Central Committee for Internal Affairs, Deputy Standing Head of the Central Steering Committee on Anti-Corruption, worked with the Provincial Standing Party Committee and the authorities of TayNinhTV to inspect and urge to anti-corruption work.
Welcoming and working with the delegation for TayNinhTV, there were Mr. Phạm Viết Thanh, member of the Party Central Committee, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Mr. Phạm Văn Tân, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, as well as leaders of relevant provincial departments and branches. In 2019, TayNinhTV Party Committee paid attention to lead, direct, and thoroughly implement the party and state regulations on anti-corruption, issue documents to lead and direct the anti-corruption task, strengthen inspection supervision, urge the anti-corruption, handle of responsibilities of party committees, organizations, and heads in case of corruption, direct to handle the serious and complicated economic corruption cases which the public opinion is concerned, as well as the situation of harassment, negativity causing troubles for people and businesses in settling affairs along with petty corruption. The provincial authorities have been interested in implementing measures to prevent corruption, such as publicity and transparency in activity of agencies and units. 21 inspections were carried out on the implementation of policies, norms, standards. Thereby, they detected one unit which violated with the amount of nearly 77 million Vietnam dong. Inspection of the implementation of the code of conduct by officials and civil servants for 183 agencies, organizations, and units. Reshuffle of working positions for 82 per 210 cases. In the conclusion, Mr. Phan Đình Trạc acknowledged and appreciated the achievements that TayNinhTV has achieved in the fight against corruption over the past time. For the orientation in coming time, the delegation proposed TayNinhTV Provincial Standing Party Committee to continuously lead, thoroughly grasp, and seriously and fully implement the party's regulations and the state laws on anti-corruption. It should simultaneously enhance the effectiveness of propaganda, education, creating self-awareness, high consensus on the will and action among official party members and people on anti-corruption, pay attention to direct the implementation of negative and corruption prevention measures in all fields of socio-economic life, especially in sensitive sectors. In addition, it also needs to improve the effectiveness of inspection, supervision in order to detect and handle corruption, especially in the field easily lead to negative methods and corruption. Direct agencies conducting legal proceedings to speed up the investigation and handling of corruption cases, entangled and protracted economic issues which are interested by public opinion. At the survey of traffic routes through the pair of mobile private bodegas, Mr. Nguyễn Văn Thể, Transport Minister, informed and asked Mr. Sơn Trăn Thon, Minister of Cambodian Public Works and Transport, on using the copy of vehicle registration certificates as making entrance and exit procedure. Whereby, at the 9th Annual Conference on Road Transport between Vietnam and Cambodia, in order to facilitate the entrance and exit, the Vietnamese side asked the Cambodian side to consider and agree that the public transport of two countries are allowed to use the certified copies of vehicle registration certificates, enclosed with the original of valid receipts of credit institution, replacing the originals of vehicle registration certificates as making entrance and exit procedures at the border gates.
TayNinhTV has basically completed the 2019 socio-economic plan with the 19 by 20 set targets, in which 12 targets exceeded the plan. In addition, some outstanding indicators were remarkable, such as high economic growth rate, rapid reduction of traffic accidents, and rapid reduction of the rate of poor households.
Remarkably, GRDP rate reached nearly 57,000 billion Vietnam dong, increasing 8.4% over the same period. 2019 is the year with the highest growth rate in the past 5 years. Meanwhile, the investment capital for social development in the province reached nearly 34,000 billion Vietnam dong, an increase compared to the plan and accounted for nearly 43% of the GRDP. The province's investment and business environment has been clearly improved, attracting FDI to reach nearly $1.5 billion, increasing 150%, ranked the 6th out of 63 cities and provinces. Tay Ninh has been the locality for 5 consecutive years among the top 10 provinces and cities, attracting the most foreign investment capital in the country, while its business development increased significantly. The province also issued new establishment registration certificates to 657 enterprises, increasing nearly 17% over the same period in the number of enterprises, an increase of 1.1 times in the registered capital. One of the more outstanding results of the province in 2019 is the sharp reduction of traffic accidents. Tay Ninh ranked the second place in the country of reducing the number of accidents, deaths and injuries. As one of the 5 provinces with the lowest poor and near-poor household rate in the country, its poor households decreased to 1.69% and has belonged to the group of provinces and cities with the lowest number of poor and near-poor households in the nationwide, with 5,267 households.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Western Canal of Yau Tiếng Lake irrigation system is being repaired and upgraded. This is the second-class project with a design flow of over 36 cubic meters per second, irrigating over 30,000 hectares of agricultural land and supplying water for daily supply, industrial production, and animal husbandry.
The Western Canal Repairing and Upgrading Project is being implemented in the Phase 1 as sections from downstream of regulating sluice K21 plus 791 to K36 plus 560 and expected to be completed on March 20, 2020. Also related to the Western Canal, people in Trà Vong Commune Tân Biên District have petitioned the construction unit to make a roadside barrier of the Western Canal in densely populated areas to ensure safety for people as traveling on the canal banks. From this recommendation, the Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee has sent an official document to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development for consideration and addition of the handrail system on both sides of the Western Canal into the project, and it was approved. Leaders of Yau Tiếng Phước Hòa Irrigation Exploitation One Member Company Limited, the investor of the project, said that it is currently coordinating with the survey consultancy unit to make out an additional design dossier of handrail system in densely populated areas along the banks of Western Canal, balance the project's reserve fund to submit to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development for supplement. According to the Department of Industry and Trade, under the province supporting industry in 2019 has contributed greatly to its proportion of production value. This industry has not currently met the practical demands of the province. Currently, the products of industry and supporting industry produced in Tay Ninh province include textiles, leather shoes, electronics, manufacturing mechanics. The projects are mainly from foreign investment enterprises and investment in subdivision of textiles and supporting industry in industrial parks such as Phước Đông Thành Thành Công and TMTC. In the last time, the supporting industry in Tay Ninh has played an important role in creating jobs and improving people's lives, contributing to boosting exports. However, the supporting industry in Tay Ninh is still developing slowly, fragmented, not meeting the needs of manufacturing and assembly industry. The auxiliary products are still poor in times, shapes, monotonous designs, and most of enterprises produce on others. In addition, most of the manufacturing projects of supporting industry are in the FDI sector. most domestic investment projects are small-scale with resources, while the raw materials, components, and spare parts for productions are mainly imported. Manufacturing projects of supporting industry products do not have a link between enterprises in the operation process.
Last time, Saigon Co-op officially opened and put into operation Tân Biên Co-op Mart Supermarket on Highway 22B Quarter 3, Tân Biên Town, Tân Biên District, Tây Ninh Province. Attending this event, there were Mr. Trần Văn Chiến, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, Ms. Phan Thị Điệp, Vice Chairwoman of the Provincial People Council.
This is the Co-op Mart Supermarket in Tây Ninh Province. Tây Ninh is also the first province, excepting Ho Chi Minh City, which has a Co-op Mart supermarkets, bringing its total number of supermarkets across the country to 122. Tân Biên Co-op Mart Supermarket is modernly designed with an investment capital of more than 110 billion Vietnam dong, a total business area of over 4,300 square meters, trading more than 30,000 commodities. Along with the nationwide Co-op Mart system, Tân Biên Co-op Mart Supermarket will be a distribution point for 9 price stabilization commodity groups, helping people in Tân Biên District and surrounding areas in Tây Ninh Province to have one more place for shopping with plentiful products, clear origin, quality assurance, and reasonable price. At the same time, it will continue to strengthen the exploitation of goods and specialties of Tân Biên District in particular and Tây Ninh Province in general in order to promote consumption on the entire national Co-op Mart supermarket system. On the occasion of opening, Tân Biên Co-op Mart Supermarket launched many peak promotions for consumers as well as offered the amount of 50 million Vietnam dong to the Fund for the Poor.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.